over the past 15 years. It shows that the U.S. Catholic Church has shielded more than $2 billion in assets from abuse victims in bankruptcies using these methods. So now lawyers are going after that, or tell us like what's happening.
It happens on a case-by-case basis, an archdiocese by archdiocese basis. Like,
how often is it happening? Is it a lot of archdioceses that are doing this?
Well, I think the story says that I think a half dozen or 7 states had sort of an open window, like there's not statute of limitations applying to sex clergy abuse cases. More recently, a number of states have removed the statute of limitations, and New York State, for example, did it in last summer. And the churches, a number of churches immediately filed bankruptcy. For like, oh, this is coming, and bankruptcy is the only option at that point. Many of those archdioceses had, prior to that, reclassified and reassigned assets.
So Dan, I want to talk about a key element of this story, which is a thread that actually pulls through the entire abuse scandal, which is sort of who knew what when in many cases, and who is ultimately implicated in the decision making. Setting aside the culpability around the actual abuse and the cover-up of abuse, this story documents some very senior church officials all the way up to the Vatican who essentially were involved in making these decisions. That seems like a key part of this piece.
The decisions around bankruptcy and around asset reallocation, there's a dispute. Lawyers for the victims say that the lawyers for the church are saying we'd like to, whatever they're talking about, we'll have to run that past the bishop, or we'll have to run that up to the Vatican. And the Vatican is saying this stuff is all done at a local level. It's not us.
That's editor Dan Farrar talking about Josh Saul's story. And Jason, this is another one that has really stuck with us throughout the week.
Absolutely. I mean, it's hard to get through it in some ways, especially if you have any association with the Catholic Church. It's very clinical what they have done, candidly, in terms of shifting assets.
And apparently legal,
as far as we know. There are lawsuits ongoing in a number of jurisdictions, as Josh and Dan lay out, essentially saying you have hidden money that should be paid out to victims of this abuse that was perpetrated over decades. It's a really important story. It's not been told to this point, and I think will change and move the conversation and hopefully bring some different scrutiny to what's going on.
Absolutely. You're listening to Bloomberg Business Week. Coming up, this story was among the most read on the Bloomberg throughout the week. It has to do with Blackstone and KKR and AdBlitz and their healthcare holdings.
Private equity and politics colliding again. This is Bloomberg.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
At Bloomberg 99.1, we're focused on your backyard.
The district is expanding its crime camera network.
President Trump meets with members of Congress at the White House.
With breaking D.C. business and political news.
Fed Chair Jay Powell was testifying on Capitol Hill.
And local headlines from Capitol Heights to Burke and beyond.
Maryland Governor Larry Hogan has appointed a new delegate.
Bloomberg 99.1 and 105.7 FM HD2.
Well, let's talk about 2020.
The district's most influential news organization.
GEP, AI-powered cloud-native digital transformation. Hundreds of Fortune 500 and Global 2000 companies work with GEP to transform their procurement and supply chain operations. Why? GEP's unified digital platforms, smart, intuitive software that business users love, drive up adoption, user satisfaction, and productivity. GEP helps CIOs drive real digital transformation and achieve amazing results. GEP, helping the world's best companies do better.
Elite advisory firms rely on BNY Mellon's Pershing to meet the needs of their most complex clients. Karen Novak, Chief Operating Officer at Pershing Advisor Solutions, explains how.
At BNY Mellon's Pershing, we bring customized insights and strategies to help you grow your advisory business and stay on the leading edge. We can support the needs of your most sophisticated clients with